Hey guys, so I did a lot of work yesterday on the White Beauty. I didn't do any recording. So I completed the fret job, and after doing that, I did a full compounding on the body of this thing to get it completely clean. And then I put the trusty Meguiar's spray wax, quick wax detailer. This stuff makes it feel like glass. And it's a lot easier to use than putting paste wax on it. So that worked. Um, After doing the fret job, which I showed you, looks pretty good, right? I hope it works good. Um, I installed pickups, chrome. I changed the switch to chrome. I put a new plate around it. Took off the black one. Had this white one for a long time. Couldn't use it on anything because usually the threads don't come through long enough, and this is a pretty thick plate. So I'm happy that I got the white on the white with the black, and it's been sitting in my stash for a long time. And I installed all new pots. It just turns out that the ones I took off weren't gold, and the ones I put on here are gold. They will be covered by the Kanabis anyway. These were the only full-size pots that I had that were like a set. I had a set of 4. So this is what happened. I went bridge, middle, and neck, and the master tone is down here. There's my wire for the grounding. I have to put all the new hardware on it today. And in the back, the electrics cavities look like that. Can I get that in there? Yeah, alright. There's a little picture. Got everything marked. Put in full-size Fleor pots. And a new switch. Yeah, can't see that. But anyway, it's coming along. Oh yeah, and I did white out the Made in the USA, even though I can't change the Gibson on it. I'll put a piece of tape on it or something. Anyway, it's not going to be mistaken, I think, for that. Oh, and the pickups are from West Creek Helios, donated by Mr. J-Man of the J-Man channel from Prince Edward Island. And this one is a Fleor neck pickup. So this one's 9K, this one's 7.76K, 9.8 I should say, 7.6K, and 7.35. Now they're all 4-wire. I'm not using them at all in my drawing. No splits. There's no push-pulls. But I will see how it sounds together. I will, if necessary, I will take the splits and I will use the Fralin methodology to use the split with the Fralin resistor to keep the other side half on to adjust the level of output. I will maybe use the gizmo box to figure some of that out, or I'll just do some trial and error. But in order to get the sounds that I would prefer to have, if I can get them, I'll do that. So as I mentioned earlier, the middle is always available. It goes directly to the output jack. So if you don't want to hear that, you turn it down. In the treble position, you'll get the bridge only. In the rhythm, you get the neck only. In the middle, you're going to get these two, which will be the neck, and the bridge. But if you want to add the third one, you can. Right? Now, in the down position, again, you can get these two by increasing the middle to wherever you'd like to have it in combination. And likewise in the rhythm, this is full on, and you can dial in the middle. So that's the versatility that I wanted to build into this. The way they had it was just stupid, and I think this is the way it's supposed to be. Anyhow, I digress. Um, so yes, I'm going to now, I've done the tap, and I'm not going to tie up any of this stuff in the back over here until I determine whether or not I'm going to do any frailing working here, and leave that open. All right, so that's all looking good. The next step will be to, you know, install my bridge. And I didn't have a tailpiece. I looked in my stash. I have lots of anchors, but typically I never had to save a tailpiece on any other guitar because I typically always use the tailpiece. So I ordered them, and they're coming on Amazon sometime today. The new tuners are here. They're Canes locking, 18 or 20 to 1, so they'll go on the headstock. Based on past experiences of just putting roller bridges in places where the anchors remain and not changing colors, sometimes what happens is that the distance between the holes are not exactly the same on the other parts versus, you know, these BM003s, and they're not always the same either because they're coming from different manufacturers. So I thought the idea, well, I'm going to put these things in here, but if I just bang them in and then all of a sudden they're not at the right angle, I'm going to have a problem. So I thought, what if, and I checked this is going to go in tight. I won't have to do any shimming in the holes. What if I could do something like get these things lined up and then maybe press them. That one's biting on the edge of, okay. The saddle is actually touching the edge. And it's not even. Oh, did I get it? Did I get it? Oh, it's just about there. No, it's not going to work that way. So that's not going to work. And I didn't want to bang on the saddles at the top. But I wonder if I can just go on the front part first. Just get them started like that. And then maybe I can get it down on either side and still maintaining that it'll be there. So let me just try tapping that. Oh, let's go the other way. That way they won't be off angle, hopefully. Still feels loose. Alright, we're going to fix that. Alright, I think that's good. Woo! We'll just do the final little bit. I'm going to put some copper tape on those. That'll tighten that right up. I need some glasses because now I need to watch the body surface to make sure that I'm not going to crack anything. What about the other side? Okay, so that's about the way it was. It was up a little bit on this side in order for it to be properly angled. Let's see if it still works when they're all the way down, because sometimes that changes the angle a little bit too. There it is. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Just a tiny bit, little bit of a problem, even though I tried to mitigate it. Yep. All right. I think it's this one. I think it's that one. I should have put them. I should have put those screws lower. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now it goes down. And it's not all the way down. Alright. So I'm going to run into an adjustment problem, I think. No. I'm not running into it. Oh, I see. It's probably just a chrome. It's probably just the chrome thicknesses. Alright. Okay, turn that around like it should be. Yeah. It's just chrome thicknesses. But I'm going to mitigate it. Tiny little bit. Because I've got space on that side to tip it over. Yeah, that's close, very close. Very close. Good enough. It also helps to stop the wobble. Okay. Yeah. All right. First hardware installed. Since I already have the tuners, I will take this over to the other bench, do the tuners, and wait for Amazon to come back. So my whole idea with the longboard didn't really work, but I got it anyway. I like that it doesn't wobble now. Let me test something. Does that go in there? Yes. Okay. Alright, so that's all the way down. So when it's all the way down, it's tight. Right? Then it becomes loose again. So it's not done. It's not done. It's not done. Let me give it another little tap. Let's see. It's probably not moving a lot since it's already so far down. Oh, but it's moving enough. Oh, wrong way around. Come on. Yes, okay. I like it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, I just wanted to bring one of the tuners over. So these are, I've got the Canes branding on the back of the locking pin, but I'm pretty sure they're made by Geiker, because Canes is an actual seller on AliExpress, and Geiker is a manufacturer and also a seller. Now I've bought these before with the Geiker on them, but Canes probably got enough of them made with their own name on it, and they're identical in every way. They have a really nice, you know, tight gearing. I mean, nothing moves on these things. They are rock solid. The cog and the worm gear are tight. Now they come, these are not lubricated. So what I've done is I have a brand of synthetic grease. You can get any one you want. This one's a clear synthetic grease. I got this at the automotive store. I use it for my motorcycles. If you have some around, do that. I mean, you can even use axle grease if you wanted to, because it's going to be inside, but you only need a tiny little bit. So I use this syringe, which came with some re-inking kit for my printer. But you can buy these if you want, or I mean, get it in there however you want, but don't overdo it. You want to get it between the cog and the worm gear and a little bit on both sides. So what I do is I just shoot it in there like that, and then I take my spinner and I just spin this all the way around until it's faster with the spinner. I didn't bring it over here. I meant to. Until you get the gear completely covered in it, and that the worm gear gets covered in it, so that every time it goes back around, whichever way you're going to go, there's a little bit of grease in there to loosen it up. Okay? And you'll feel it when you spin it, how tight it is to begin with, and by the time the gear gets a full turn, it should start to loosen up. If you don't feel that, go back in, put a little bit more grease around the edges, and spin it again until finally you feel the tension loosen up to full smoothness. Then you've got it fully lubricated. And you can do a little cleanup on it like this. I like these buttons on my Les Pauls. Well, any kind of Gibson copy guitar. So that's what I got. And you know what? These are the Grover style, but you know what? I don't think Grover could make a better tuner than this at half the price that the Grovers are. Less than half the price that the Grovers are. So look them up. And then you can go ahead and install them. I've run into unforeseen circumstance. Yeah. Unforeseen circumstance. As it turns out, as I suspected when I took the other tuners off this thing, why they were so loosey-goosey and wobbly was because the case wasn't tight enough to hold the worm gear and the cog tight enough to be smooth and tight. Okay, and therefore the footprint is a little bit off with the real ones, a little bit shorter for the screws now that they're tight. So this is the small holes, and you need the bamboo toothpick or other wooden toothpick that will fit in those little holes. A little bit of carpenter's glue, or wood glue as we call it up here, depends on who you buy it from. This is Elmer's Carpenters, and I have another one called wood glue. There's a couple of different levels of bonding. And then what I did was just basically stick that in a hole, cut it off with a flush cutter just above where it was. Then you just go back and you tap it down. I have a little square dowel like this. You just go in there and tap them flat. Let them set up. And then we'll line all these things up, mark where they have to go. What I would tend to do is take a square like this, get it on the back, turn around. This also tells you whether or not they drilled the holes well. But once you put the collars in, let me see, the collars are in on that side. This will tell you how well they're lined up as well. So you just snug up the collars a tiny little bit, just enough to get them to stay kind of where you want them. And then you get that on the back, and if they're perfect, like these two seem to be, but that one isn't, right? So that holds a little bit further out. Or this one's a little bit too close in. But because there's a curve on the headstock, the same thing has happened on this side. So we will align those two and then attempt to do that one by eyesight with the hole that's already there. So I'll let that sit for a couple of hours, and we'll worry about it later.